Hello everyone, so today I want to talk about duplicating relics and how you can target farm specific relics to make your build stronger. Now what I mean by duplicating relics is, that's the name of the system that unlocks relics for you to use in your runs on your breakers. So for example, like these choosing relics to put them on your breaker here only chooses relics that you can only choose relics that you've previously duplicated. Now the reason this is important is because one, it'll make your build stronger to start with, and two, the more relics you have duplicated, the higher chance you have of duplicating relics that you want. What I mean by that is it's never going to try and duplicate a relic you've already got duplicated. This makes target farming specific relics much easier once you have a giant pool of relics already available to you, because the less relics you have duplicated, the more relics it's going to try to pull from to duplicate. Now, the way it chooses relics to duplicate is based on relics you've picked up within the run. So, say you're doing Campanella normal, and you've only picked up 2 relics in that run, it's only going to try and duplicate from those 2 relics. It will never choose a relic you've already got duplicated. So let's say you're doing Campanella normal, and you pick up a reactive charge module, and you've already unlocked this in a previous run, and then you also pick up a Stone Mercy, which you have not duplicated in a previous run. When you finish that run, and it's success, it will choose the Mercy, because it's the only available relic that you have not duplicated before. Now, the probability of duplication is a 30% chance to duplicate when you fail a run, so this means dying in your run, it will then have a 30% chance to choose one of the relics. If it doesn't choose a relic at all, then you just don't get a relic that run. If you successfully clear the run, and I say this as in you fully finished the run, killed the last boss, and got to the screen where it's showing your stats and everything, you have a 100% chance to duplicate a relic. Now, the chances of it duplicating the relic you want are very diminished depending on how many relics you've picked up within that run. So let's say now you're trying to farm a tier 1 relic. You're trying to pick up something like Special Charge Module. You're going to come over here, and you're going to notice instantly, depending which galaxy you do, your loot pools are different. If you do something like Zerny, you're going to notice it only has tier 1 relics and tier 2 relics. It doesn't have any of the critical boxes, power box, or the weapon box, aka blood box, and it doesn't have any of the knives, power knife, blood knife, or crit knife. So this makes target farming something like Convergent Energy Skill Module or Special Charge Module much easier and much more reliable, and if you wanted to get one of these type of relics, you would just farm the first galaxy over and over and over until you get it. Now, on Symphonia, you'll notice it has every single relic available in the game, so this means if you're trying to farm a specific relic, this is the worst tile set possible for you to try and farm. 1, Symphonia is a little bit harder than Cerny. 2, it's going to require more relics picked up per run for you to actually finish the run, and 3, the loot pool is much higher, so getting the good relics is much lower. Now if we come over to Campanella, you're going to notice it's only got tier 2 and tier 3 relics. So if you're trying to farm something like Convergent Energy Skill Module, or you're trying to farm something like Mercy, your best places to farm these are going to be Campanella Normal. I highly recommend getting good at Campanella Normal, getting used to all the bosses at Campanella Normal, and just spending most of your time inside Campanella itself, just to basically get all the mechanics down and speed up your efficiency of all your runs. So now that you know where the relics drop, what is a method of farming them? So let's say you're trying to farm Mercy, or in my case, because it's the only one I don't have unlocked, Risk Attack Backpack. What I would do is now I would go over to my breakers, I'd go to View Details, I'd go to Manage Relic Drop Rates, and I would drop every single tier 1 relic into the medium section, as I'm trying to farm a tier 2 relic in Campanella. And in Campanella, as you saw, tier 1 relics do not appear. And then I would put all the bad relics I do not want to see into the low tier, as well as some majority of the tier 3 relics I do not wish to see into the low tier. This makes it less likely for these to appear, and then move the one that you wish to farm, Risk Attack Backpack in this case, into the high tier. This makes it much more likely to appear, as the loot pool is now narrowed down a lot more in terms of probability, and the one that you want is in a higher probability of appearing. This doesn't mean necessarily that the ones in the low tier aren't going to appear. They will still appear within the run, it's just less likely now. And then we're going to go into Camp Vanilla Normal, and the method we're going to do here can be a little bit tedious, but it is efficient. We're going to kill Planet 1, 2, and 3, and if we don't have the relic we want by the end of Planet 3, we're just going to leave. Unfortunately, this is the best way of doing it. If we do get the relic we wish to get, though, then we're just going to finish the run out. So now let's say we don't have a lot of relics, and we're trying to target farm a specific relic. Don't want to be doing this. You just want to finish your run every time anyway, as you're going to narrow down your loot pool with every single run that you finish. But you saw, I didn't get the relic I wanted at the start, but there is a good relic in here. I'm going to purchase Recharge. It's going to help me clear the galaxy faster anyway. Now let's say you didn't have Recharge duplicated. I personally suggest you would still pick it up. It's a good relic anyway, and you'd want to get that one duplicated. But let's say you're trying to farm a different relic, but Recharge isn't duplicated for you. You would avoid picking up Recharge. And now that we're on Planet 2, I'm going to roll a little bit of my excess money, and look, there it is. There's the relic I wish to get and the relic I want to duplicate. So I'm going to save, I'm going to buy that after the fight, and then we're going to finish this run out, and you'll see the fact that I'll get it duplicated because we decided to narrow down the pool and really spend as little time as possible. But let's say it didn't appear here. What we would do is we would go to Planet 3, we'll look at the first box. If it wasn't in there, then we'll just leave. And then we'll rinse and repeat. The reason why we do this is because time spent for gain, basically. We don't want to spend a lot of time in a mission to get nothing back. Now you saw it took me 26 seconds to get here. That's relatively slow. It can be much faster. If you play a better breaker, like say jungler, it would be much faster. But we spent 26 seconds to get here. If we didn't have what we want, we would just leave, and we've wasted very, very little time by doing so. Then we would enter again and spend another 26 seconds to get back to the same point, and by that point, just try and cut down the excess time spent in the runs as much as possible. And as you saw there, if you're trying to target farm a relic, it's a good job to actually buy the relic. Okay, so now that Protean's dead, you should see that I get risk attack backpack duplicated here. Just like that. So, yeah, if you're trying to target farm specific relics, first see which galaxy has the lowest loot pool for them. So if it's a tier 1 relic, Zerny. If it's a tier 2 relic, Zerny, depending on which relic it is. And then if you're trying to farm a tier 3 relic, just do Camp Vanilla Normal and make sure that you have your drop rates set correctly, and try to minimize the amount of relics you're picking up based on how many you've already got duplicated. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.